Who are our hosts least excited to see at the dinner table this Thanksgiving? Stay tuned as we tackle how to handle our problematic family members.
How smart are animals really? See what our hosts think about the intelligence of everyday animals.
We love our hosts, but how ethical and moral are they really?
Find out just how good our hosts are deep down today on The College Voice.
Hello everyone, is everyone excited for break next week?
Beyond excited.
I'm very excited.
I definitely need a break, but sometimes I also feel like Thanksgiving is like a teaser because it's just that short time and then you have to come back and everything is just piled on you.
Yeah, it's like 10 times harder, especially because like after that we go into finals and getting ready for finals, so it's not really a break.
Or when professors assign work over break. I'm like, thanks for the break.
I mean, it's still nice.
Well, I know this is something everyone has thought about, so I want to know, when you get proposed to, do you want it to be a complete surprise or do you want it to be planned out? Now, I'm sure most of us agree that they would like to discuss getting married in general, but what I want to know is if the proposal itself should be talked about. Do you want to know a date or when it is around so you can be prepared by looking good and maybe having your nails done? Or are you ready for a surprise? What do you think?
That's tricky, definitely, because, I mean, I haven't even thought about marriage because that's so far in the future.
Is
but
it
like,
Oh, that's, I mean.
yeah, but like also the thing with me is like, who's doing the proposing? Who knows? I would say that's like the hard thing because like technically like the male is supposed to be doing the proposing, but you know, stupid. But like when you're in a relationship with two guys, who does the proposing?
I think that still is like, that's even more important because then like going back to should we talk about, because like.
I feel like that you would really
Yeah,
know.
I would really have to talk with my like significant other to figure out like what's going on. So I definitely would go for the planning side.
I feel like you most definitely should have a conversation about like, is this a next step we're ready to take? You know what I mean? Like if you just propose to someone out of the blue, like I feel like if you can't have those discussions, maybe marriage isn't a good idea in the first place.
Yeah.
But do you want to know like a date of when like the actual question's gonna be popped? Like do you want a timeline or do you want to be actually surprised?
I vote actually surprised.
I vote that
I
too.
love surprises though.
I hate
Spontaneity,
surprises, but I
so-
also like don't want to know.
I hate surprises as well, but I want it to be a surprise. What about you, Joe?
I think it would be nice to like say, okay, are we financially ready to like go into marriage? And then say, okay, I'll plan it, but I'm not gonna tell you. So it's the idea that you're set to be financially stable to be married, but you're not gonna know exactly you're gonna propose. So I think it's nice to at least prepare beforehand.
What about like public versus like non-public? Should that be something you discuss if you would want it publicly or like just you two?
I feel like you should know your partner already and know if they like that. For me, I would say I want public because like, you know, if you do it in public, sometimes you get like free dinner.
That's
or stuff
exactly
like
what I was
that.
gonna say,
Like
free
I want
dessert.
the perks
Yeah.
of like a public proposal. What about you, Anna?
I feel like, well, first of all, I definitely want it to be a surprise, but I hate surprises, so like don't give me any hint. I mean, I want to know, like, I want to agree that we're like ready, but don't even mention it after we say it because then it's just going to drive me crazy because I'll constantly be thinking about it. And then the public versus private, I mean, I feel like that I'm fine with like either. It's up to him, I guess, whatever he thinks would be best and the best for me. I don't know. Like, I don't want to have any say in it.
Okay. So completely
Fair.
surprised.
I mean, I want to have a say on the ring.
Speaking of the ring, how important, so if you got proposed to, any of you, and the ring was like less than mediocre, would you be like,
I mean,
I wouldn't care.
I mean,
I feel like I would a little bit care, but that's also something I would discuss, like what I want.
I think it's a lot with what you can afford at the moment and like what
Like
you can
it's
do.
definitely a discussion.
Yeah, it's a discussion, and like if you're like maybe it's like a small ring, but they're like it's all I can afford right now, and it means a lot for me but like we can get something like bigger in the future or something if you really want to. I think it's like, I don't know. I don't think a ring really is really important in the marriage, honestly. But that's just my opinion. I don't like rings.
Okay, how do you guys feel about like the cheesy public proposals?
Oh,
like
they make
in
me
front
cringe.
of the castle at Disney World? Like, would any of you?
I
want
don't
something
like
that?
any of like the stereotypical, the zoo lights,
Yeah.
Disney. Like I'm like, come
I want it to be
on.
creative, you know, have some
Yeah.
thought in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
true.
I think it'd be cool. I've seen this one video of a guy proposing on a roller coaster. I have to say, that would be really cool.
That's
Like,
I would
that's a
drop
great
the ring.
memory.
Take notes.
Yeah. Take notes, please.
No,
That would be. I'd be like, oh, I don't know. Well, when we think about who we want to marry, we always look at who they are deep down as a person when it comes to who our hosts are as people. Ryan has just the BuzzFeed quiz to figure it out. Take it away, Ryan.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
Kent State's most generous annual tradition, Giving Tuesday, is here. Golden Flashes are known for giving back, and this month, your generosity goes even further with matching gifts, incentives, and challenges. Join in by supporting the fund that matters most to you. At Kent State, what sets us apart is how we come together.
It's a big responsibility.
Oh, it's huge. I know, it's huge.
And the salary.
Oh my god, yes. I mean,
Right.
like, I was about to move in with my parents, and right before, yeah, so this saved me.
I really believe in you, you know.
Thank you. It's nice to hear that from someone.
These are cool. Did you, what did
Now, you may think you know about the host of The College Voice, but today we dive more into the hostess' personalities as we take an alignment chart quiz. Alignment charts stem from Dungeons & Dragons, and it is a chart that tells you about your ethics and morals. So where do our hosts lie on the chart? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay. So we're going to find out all about your morals and ethics and all that. So we're going to start on the first question. On a scale of 1 to 9, how well do you follow the rules?
I would say I'm a 6.
I would say I'm like a 5 or 6 too.
I say 6.
I feel like as an RA, I have to say I'm like a 7 or an 8.
At least.
Okay. Everybody ready for the second question?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You see a bank robber on a small street. He offers you $1,000 in cash to not call the police and let him get away. What are you most likely to do? 1. Reject the money and call the police. 2. I'm pretending to take the money, then call the cops and return it to them. Reject the money, call the cops, and follow the robber myself until the police get him. Taking the money but writing down the license plate, not taking the money, telling the robber I want nothing to do with it, demand more money, take the money and keep quiet, or take money, call police, but lead them in the wrong direction.
I'm going to say I'm going to take the money and write down the license plate to call the cops later because I don't want him to kill me. Like, I'd probably end up having to give the money back, but like, criminal, like, would think that you're going to go tell on them if you don't take it. So that's my reasoning.
I'm probably just going to be like, I didn't see anything. Keep moving.
That's a good one. I mean, I feel I should just reject the money and call the cops.
Then he might kill you, but
Yeah, good luck,
dangerous
Joe.
situation there.
yeah.
You all select an answer?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Your work nemesis doesn't realize their coffee is on the edge of the table right above their bag. Choose an action. Don't say anything, do anything. What happens, happens. Tell a different co-worker about it and let them decide. Walk by and accidentally knock the cup onto their things. Internally debate what to do until it falls. Grab the coffee before it can fall and tell your nemesis. Grab the coffee for them. Tell your coworker their coffee is about to fall. Pray for the gust of wind, or walk by, knock the coffee down on yourself.
Don't say anything or do anything. What happens, happens.
I gotta disagree. I'm gonna grab the coffee for them before it falls, because I get a lot of satisfaction from being the bigger person and knowing I'm the bigger person.
I'm not that nice. I wish.
Yeah, I feel the same, honestly.
As what, you gonna grab it?
Yeah, I just grab it.
I would internally debate because I don't know what I would do. Okay. When watching a police chase, what % of the time would you say that you're rooting for the person running from the cops?
Less than 0 to never.
0 to never?
I'm gonna say 61 to 80%, because I'm always like, I don't want them to get caught, because like, if they get caught too soon, then there's nothing to watch.
What if they are a murderer?
They'll get caught eventually, right?
Okay.
I'm doing 21 to 40.
I said 41 to 60 because I enjoy a good car chase.
Oh my gosh.
Car
Shane and
chases
I
are-
actually watched one the other day and then watched a car hit another car.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
Okay. In the Avengers, Thanos wanted to erase half of the all living things. Why? Because on his home world, Titan, there weren't enough resources for the population and it led to war and the eventual destruction of the planet. Which sentence do you most agree with? Thanos had some good points. Thanos was wrong. Thanos needed to be stopped. I was honestly rooting for Thanos. As long as I wasn't one of the people killed by Thanos, I wouldn't care. Thanos wasn't perfect, but neither were the Avengers. Thanos had some strong opinions, to each their own. Thanos needed to be stopped by any means necessary, and Thanos thought he was doing the right thing.
I've never seen it, so does someone...
He basically, so he snapped away half the population because on his planet, there were so many people that they ran out of resources and they didn't have enough for everyone. So he was actually kind of like trying to save the planet, I guess, in his own way.
Yeah.
So Thanos wasn't perfect, but neither were the Avengers. Is that crazy?
No, I said to each their own because I was like, okay.
I think I'm gonna go with Thanos needed to be stopped by any means necessary, because like, right idea, wrong intention.
Yeah.
So.
I wouldn't say that. I mean,
Or good intention, wrong idea.
Yeah. Thanos had some good points, really, with the idea that, he wants to try and save the universe, but he's doing it in the wrong way. But it doesn't mean that his opinion wasn't incorrect.
Yeah.
So I would really just say he had some strong opinions, to each their own. So.
Okay, and now the very last question. Be honest. If heaven and hell are real, what do you believe are the chances you're going to heaven on a scale 1 to 9?
9, I'm going to heaven.
I'm gonna say 9 too, but I don't know if that's where the party is. So.
1.
Oh.
Oh, my.
I'm gonna say like a 6.
Joe!
Okay.
Okay, and with that, it should reveal where you fall.
I am lawful good, so I'm very kind and compassionate towards others. I don't know if that's true. You have great morals and firm principles that simply can't be broken. You very strictly follow the rules, which can create a dilemma when you know a law or rule is hurting others, but you feel you must abide to it to avoid any violations. Your care for others is truly something special. I don't know about that.
I got the same thing as you, Anna, but I think that's pretty accurate, kind of.
I hope it's accurate, but...
I'm satisfied.
What did you get, Joe?
So despite the fact I answered 1 on whether I'm going to heaven or to hell, I got lawful good.
Oh.
So the same thing as we all got the same thing.
I got lawful neutral.
Oh.
Yeah.
You certainly have your morals and you tend to follow rules, but sometimes the means you might have to keep emotions out of your actions. Think of it like an officer enforcing a harsh law, whether they believe it's fair or not.
Interesting.
But yeah, I was saying that's an interesting one for me for sure.
I don't know. I think the very strictly follow the rules is like kind of like, because I don't know.
I think maybe it's like you strictly follow your own rules.
I guess
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that.
That's
yeah.
how I feel about it personally.
I feel like definitely I'm an RA here, so I definitely feel that. But yeah. Well, that settles who our hosts are as people. But what about animals? How smart are they really? We'll find out our thoughts when the College Voice returns after this break.
There's no breaks, so go ahead, Taylor.
Okay. Well, in the past couple of decades, our knowledge about the intelligence and capabilities of animals have steadily increased. Animals such as Coco the sign language speaking gorilla and Bunny the button talking dog have amazed us with their communication skills. So now the question is, how intelligent are animals really? Do you think they are capable of the same emotional and intellectual complexity as us humans? And most importantly, can they actually communicate with us? Anna, I want to ask what you think first, as someone who has worked with like training Andy Joe.
I definitely think animals are very, very smart, but I don't think they can comprehend as much as humans. I was actually thinking about this the other day because I live on the 4th floor of my apartment, so I take the elevator every day. And I really don't think like she understands the elevator because like sometimes, say if I'm on the 1st floor and there's like something going on the 1st floor, when we get to the 4th floor, she looks over. Like, I just think she thinks it's something we have to get on to get to the room. Like, she doesn't understand we're going up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think they can, like, she doesn't know this is an elevator going up. So I do think they're very smart. Like, she can learn a trick like that. So, but I'm like, I don't think they can comprehend as well as humans.
Okay. Joe, what do you think?
I feel it's going off what Anna said. I mean, it doesn't really seem like animals have sort of that same capacity, but I feel like they do in some cases. I mean, they can pick up on certain things, like, you know, whether someone's at the door and then they go to it. I mean, I feel like there's still a lot like we don't know exactly about animals yet. So, I mean, maybe it's a bit both. Maybe they do have the same intellectual capacity as us. Maybe they don't. We don't really know much, or we still have yet to know.
All right, Ryan, what about you?
I don't think they're not as smart as us, but I do think they have just as much emotions as us and like stuff like that. Like one of my favorite animals is the cheetah, for the sole purpose that they are so anxious that they have to have like emotional support dogs there with them, which I think is very like telling of like they have a lot of emotions and they deal with emotions similarly how we do. Because somebody who has a lot of anxiety would have like a support dog. So I think that tells a lot that they deal with like their emotions the same way we deal with our emotions. So I don't know about like smart. I think they're very smart creatures like gorillas and all that, but I wouldn't say as smart as us.
See, I'm gonna have to disagree with all of you. As someone who is like super fascinated by apes, specifically orangutans, gorillas, chimpanzees, I think that it's not a matter of are they capable of this like same type of complexity and knowledge, but do they have the tools to like properly iterate themselves? Like Coco the Gorilla, it was like evident. Do you guys know who Coco the Gorilla is?
Yeah.
I do not.
I don't.
Well, she was a gorilla that was raised in captivity by like a researcher, and throughout like her entire life she was taught sign language. So by the time like she was 40, she had like well over like 300 words. She could like talk and she could physically express her emotions. Like for example, they got her a cat and the cat got hit by a car, unfortunately, and she was expressing how it like made her sad and stuff. So to me, I think it's, are we giving animals the resources?
But like, what about the elevator?
Okay, but if you like, you know Bunny the button dog?
No.
Well, if you gave like Andy Joe buttons and like try to explain it to her, I think there's knowledge and then there's intelligence, basically.
I mean, I think she's very smart. Like, I could probably teach her literally anything.
I think that's really like, I would say what you're going off, that's a good point, because I know a lot of people say that like without technology, humans would actually be like towards the bottom of the hunting chain.
Yeah.
Like what makes us strong is that we have these resources. So I kind of agree with Taylor that like if animals had the same resources and like we're able to use them, they would be just as smart as us, if I took that incorrectly.
Yeah, I think just because like thinking about like who would win, a lion or a man? Probably a lion, but if you gave a lion a gun, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I do not know about you guys, but just the mention of Thanksgiving gets my mouth watering. Nothing excites me more than thinking about all the yummy foods that will stuff my stomach come Thanksgiving Day. Some look forward to the turkey, some look forward to the stuffing, and some to the pumpkin pie. No matter what it is that excites your taste buds, we can all agree that a Thanksgiving feast is something to dream about. But what food on the table is best, and why?
Oh, this is like, I don't know, because I feel like this is the only time we have like all of these foods like together, but like I'll have like the items separately like throughout the year, you know, like I might randomly have pumpkin pie in October, or I might have mashed potatoes with a different meal. So like, I don't know.
I don't know what it is, but something about those Thanksgiving mashed potatoes taste different than any other mashed potatoes I have.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why. It may just be like the atmosphere and like the energy or something, but for some reason, I can never eat mashed potatoes and it tastes the same as they do during Thanksgiving.
I know something that I only have during Thanksgiving most of the time. It's sweet potato casserole.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Do you put
It's like-
marshmallows on it?
Yes.
Okay, me too.
I hate when
Nice.
they're like all melted off. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like I need some fresh ones on here.
Yeah.
What about you, Joe?
Well, it's a combination of a lot of things, but most importantly, I usually just go for the rolls.
I was gonna. I thought about rolls a little bit too.
I
The
do love
rolls are
bread.
great. I mean, especially like usually
Crescent or normal?
I usually just do regular rolls. There was a time, however, when my family did do crescent rolls, I believe, but even now I usually prefer like the regular rolls. They're really good.
I gotta say, I think mine is probably stuffing.
Oh,
Like,
Oh,
bleh.
stuffing.
Oh.
A
I do
couple
not like
Thanksgiving
stuffing.
ago, I had
Soggy,
oyster
salty bread.
Thanksgiving. Oyster stuffing. It was actually pretty
Ew.
good.
I have
Like-
never had stuffing
You've
actually.
never, oh, I love stuffing. I've had a bad story with it, so I can't eat it anymore, but I used to love it.
Stuffing
so.
is like mush.
No,
to me.
then
It's
you're
like
eating the wrong
salty mush.
stuffing. I'll bring you some stuffing. Some
No.
good stuffing.
I
Stuffing
do
taste
not
test,
like
that's what
it. And then you mentioned fish in there. That sounds sick.
Oysters.
Ooh.
They're crustaceans.
Ugh.
No, it was so good. Like just I enjoy bread, so like stuffing is like bread casserole. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No. Speaking of
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, I know this is something like that my family eat. Like they love it. I hate it, and I just want you guys like know cranberry jam or like
I do.
the stuff that they put. It's like a Jello almost.
But I don't mix
No.
it with my turkey. That's
No.
disgusting.
I was wondering
No.
what you guys thought because I absolutely hate it, and my family will just eat it straight. Like
I
just out
can
of the
eat
can.
it straight, but when people mix it with their turkey, sweet meat.
Ew.
Well, speaking of Thanksgiving dinner, we've got all those family members we're not really looking forward to see at the dinner table. Stick around because after the break, our hosts will be giving out tips on how to deal with those problematic family members.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
There it is. Keep going with it. Leo.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Your favorite weekly music show just got even better. We are now online serving all the needs of your favorite music media. You can check out our site for editorials and reviews from our writing staff featuring headline news and stellar illustrations from our design team. In the mood for your favorite artists? Check out links to our past episodes on this new and brilliant site. We are now one click away at KentCoreTV2.com. We are Kent Core. We are music-driven media.
Well, when most people think of the holidays, they think of family, the traditional meetup at grandma's house with all of your aunts, uncles, and cousins. Some people love the chance to spend time with the loved ones they don't see often, but it seems like every family has that one or many super problematic family members. How do we deal with them during the holiday season? I don't really have this problem. My family all gets along pretty well and is pretty equal and thinks the same, I guess. We don't really have problems.
See, for me, I consider myself more of a confrontational person. So like if I know we have disagreements, I want to talk about those disagreements and like how do we come to a conclusion or something that's not going to make it feel like there's constantly tension between us. So like I want a peaceful
You never,
dinner.
you
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
want there to be something like, oh, they're not happy or really.
Yeah. I don't want there to be like any lingering elephant in the room.
What about you guys?
See, I'm also a very confrontational person, so I'm gonna be honest. I'm having a lot of beef with my aunt and uncle right now, and I'm not excited about going home. But a little trick I have is invite your friends. I have 2 of my friends, Taylor's one of them, coming home with me. So not only do they like can't start a fight with me because I'll be like, hey, my friends are here. Like, also my friends will have my side. So like, I would say it's always nice to like bring some friends over, you know, because it also will keep me from fighting with them, I guess.
That's true. What about you, Joe? I usually, I don't know, I like being home, I like being with my family, but there's just some people I just don't really like talking to. I'm not very much of a social person, so it's a lot of this idea that usually when I see some of my family members, I don't really know how to talk to them, and there's usually the times where I just don't really feel like talking to them. I mean, yeah, but I like my family. I like hanging out with them during the holidays, but there's just some points where I just need to keep to myself, kind of, and just be by myself rather than sometimes just talking. I like to talk, but I like to talk to my family members sometimes, but there's just times where it's like, okay, I need to keep myself contained.
One thing I would say, my dad's side's really big and all over the place, so like only during Christmas like is everyone together, and not as much anymore, but there used to be a lot of younger ones, and they would just get stuff out and like throw it, and the parents are just sitting at the table and like
letting them do what they do.
Yeah, and my brother's like, we're shutting all the doors. Like, but then it's nice when they're not there because they're not loud. So it's like that kind of thing. It doesn't. They're all pretty older now, so it doesn't really happen. But that kind of thing, I'm like.
I think like the one important thing to deal with, like, when you're dealing with these problematic family members, is like to approach things, like, gently. Like, you're not here to have an argument. You're here to have a discussion. So like, try to actually hear their side. Let them actually hear like your side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let's be peaceful about this.
Yeah.
Conflict management.
See, I like to avoid problems. So a lot of times when like my grandparents or something will start something, we'd have a lot of younger ones, and I'll be like, I'm gonna go play with the kids, and then I go to the other room and I like play with dolls for the next 3 hours. But I would say I try, definitely, because my parents talk to me every Thanksgiving. They're like, don't start a fight, this and that. I'm like, I don't know, sometimes there's just that line where like your grandparents, they say something and you're like, no, I have to like speak, like I can't just let that go. And like, so like, I don't know, what do you do then when like, what do you guys do if there's like something they say and you're like, ooh, that is not right and I need to call you out right this moment? Like, I know you said go about it gently, but like, how do you go about it? Like,
I'm pretty blunt and open, so I kind of say whatever I think, but my family's also the same way, so we're all kind of like that. So like normally there's not a problem with that.
Yeah. I think like one thing I learned in a lot of my classes is to talk using I statements. So like, you know what I mean? So like, I personally feel that this is wrong rather than you are wrong, because when you come off with saying like, no, you're wrong, that can feel very attacking. So if I was like, Anna, you're wrong, but if you're like, Anna, I feel that isn't actually true. It's placing the attention on yourself.
I don't know. If somebody said that, both of them would probably make me a little angry.
Something big that we work with, it's called Restorative Justice, which is when you're like trying to like make sure everybody leaves the situated educated. So like you try and teach them something about it.
You guys have really researched this.
Oh
well, yeah. I mean, I'm an RA, so I have to go about restorative justice a lot. So like problems arise and I have to like make sure people are educated. And I think I'm gonna take a lot of the skills I learned this year with my new job and try and use them at like Thanksgiving as well. But I'll let you know how that goes because I'm not sure.
For me, it's like, these are my family and I like, they're important people in my life. And I don't wanna have to worry about having these tensions with them all the time. And like, if they understand where I'm coming from, I feel like some of the views that we see our family having that might seem like wrong to us, we'd be the ones to change those views, if anything, the people they care about in their life. So that's
everyone, good luck at Thanksgiving. But that is all we have for you today. Thanks for joining us, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, The College Voice, and to follow us on Instagram at thecollegevoice_KSU. But TV2 is not finished yet. Stick around for an upcoming episode of Kent Core tonight at 8 p.m. For all of your local news, stay tuned for your TV2 newscast at 6. We'll see you all next week.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.